Tom Vassel's top 100 games of all time. Some say that Tom is like a giant among men. Others say he's a little obsessed.
I don't even have a top 10.
Tom Vassel's top 100 games of all time.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
Z Garcia, what is up?
Sam Healy, it is a direction.
That was very, very clever, everyone. Okay, well, this is my top 10 games that are my favorite games that we're doing out of the top 100. This is sometimes the least interesting part, I think, of the top 100 for many people, if you've watched them before, because they don't change that much.
So you're saying that these are the 10 games that everybody should run out and buy,
That
right?
is not what I'm saying there. I'm saying these are my 10 favorite
I think
games.
that's what he's saying.
I'm thinking that's what he's saying.
Let's see.
See how many of these.
Three of them were
going
not in the
again.
top 10 last year, so there's 3 new entries to the top 10. Are you ready?
I'm
Yeah.
ready. I want to. Yeah,
let's hit it.
do it.
Let's do it.
It's light the candle.
Number 10 of my favorite games of all time, which slightly edges out Le Havre, and that is Caverna.
I gotta go get it.
Okay. Again, another Euro game.
Is it cheap?
Not
Depends
only,
on your definition of
not only
cheap,
is it
so.
not cheap, I'm really disappointed that the game has been out now for 2 years, and we still haven't seen an expansion for it. However,
They're actually whittling them. That's the thing. By hand.
it's probably horses and keeping yourself warm in the winter. Anyhow, I really like Caverna, and I think that there's a lot of space in it. There's a lot of people who like Agricola better, and they'll say, but there's so much more diversity. But there are so many other Euro games that have way less diversity than Caverna. Every time I play Caverna, something different happens based on the other players. Sometimes I take the dwarves and run them up and make them strong. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm going to make my cavern the Cavern of Wonder, or I'm going to be Farmer of the Year, or I'm going to be the
Right,
sheep.
right,
and this,
right.
and it fixes your biggest complaint with Agricola, which was that Agricola made you do everything.
It did, right?
In Caverna, you can be like, I'm going to be pig farmer, and you can do that.
Right, and it's a viable strategy. You can actually do that and
Right.
win, as opposed to, oh, you only did pigs? Well, let me punish you for everything you didn't do.
Right.
And also, Caverna has one thing that Agricola doesn't have, which is fun. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, that I like
That's
Agricola,
very
but
true.
Caverna I like more. So my number 10, Caverna. My number 9 knocked another game off the list, but they're pretty much very, very similar. And it's a new game, sort of, and that's Mage Wars Academy. Mage Wars Arena is
Gotta go
actually
get it.
out of the top 100 because I would rather play Academy all the time. It's that much faster.
Wow.
Mage Wars Academy is a simpler version of Mage Wars where you're playing cards. If there's someone in front of you, you can give them equipment, and guys, you tap them to attack each other and do different things.
Oh, we just got flagged.
Sorry, Watsy.
Woods is just like, oh, it's just.
But the game, I still like it way better than Magic because you build your spell book and then you pick the spells that you're going to use each round rather than draw off the top of the deck and, oh boy, here we go, top deck again. I hope that the card is the card I need.
So, after you've gotten this game, which I need to do again, I need to cover this one. Can you then buy Mage Wars and add to this game?
No, unfortunately.
Does it just work the other way?
There are some cards in Mage Wars. Yeah, they do work the other way. All the cards in this work in Mage Wars. But any Mage Wars cards that have things like speed or movement on them,
Won't work on
they're
this.
too powerful in this game.
Got it.
Because their price would be...
But you can go backwards, though, and after you play this and enjoy the system, if you want to sort of upgrade or graduate to Mage Wars Arena, then you can take the stuff from this one and put it in that one.
Yeah.
I think so. And I'll say this. I think over the next 3 or 4 years, you'll see this game completely... Arena will be barely talked about.
Wow.
That's what I think. Because it's so much easier and faster. Academy.
Wow.
Number 8 for me has been on the list for a long time, and people said, is Imperial Assault going to replace Descent? Well, maybe for some people, but I still love Descent.
That's it? I gotta go get it.
Now granted, that's going to get old real fast. I think it's already there. Descent.
I'm worried about how much money you're costing me right now.
Yeah, well, with Descent, I like it because I have all the expansions, and they Gen Con, they announced another expansion for Descent, so I'm excited. More monsters and more stuff. And I do like Star Wars, and maybe Imperial Assault will catch up to Descent when there's 10 expansions and things. But for now, Descent is the ultimate dungeon crawl. I've always liked RPGs. I've always liked Dungeons and Dragons, stuff like that.
Right.
I just don't have time for them as much. Descent is easier, and Descent also is basically just the kick the door in and let's fight.
Right.
And Descent 2 allowed the Overseer, the bad guy, to fight back pretty strongly, and it also did more than just kill everything. There would be sometimes missions where you have to do different things.
Well, they made everything a little more bite-sized also, right?
Big deal. Big deal. I like that. Bite-sized, and they also let you customize your heroes dramatically. Every time they come out with a new set, there's a new kind of hero, and they act very differently.
Cool.
So Descent 2.0. I'm just calling it Descent now because I don't think the old one's even available.
No, I don't think it is either. I mean, on secondary market, maybe.
Yeah. Number 7 is a game that was just hit the list for the first time last year. Love this game. Went into my top 10. No, you're not as big a fan of it as I am, but I love Arcadia Quest. To me, Arcadia Quest is just fun in a box. Every time I play it, I just get thrilled by it.
Wow.
Yeah, some of my favorite stories that I played are Arcadia Quest. Is that Spider-Man symbol?
He wants you to switch
Descent,
up Blood Rage.
Descent and Arcadia Quest. Or, I'm sorry, Arcadia Quest Descent.
Here's the thing, though. I understand that they're going to be compared because they're both fantasy, but they're very different games. Arcadia Quest, I'm going against opponents, and it's that whole, oh, look what kind of cool thing I did.
Arcadia Quest is a kid's game.
Arcadia Quest was... I've only played once, I think. And it was cute, but 7? It's your 7th favorite game ever, Arcadia Quest.
Yes.
Big head miniatures, walking around, chucking dice. Boof! Money! Boof! Money!
You know
That
what?
game?
That is what you said there is exactly why I like it. I like that walking around. Eric Lang called them walking bags of money. You hit stuff, and then you upgrade to cooler weapons. You roll those dice. It has that burst system, which I love. I know that this is not everyone's favorite game, but I'll tell you what, a lot of people love this game too.
No,
This is not I'm not alone in my thoughts
Yeah,
here.
no, I understand liking it.
No, I love
I
it.
don't think there's anything in it that... I have a hard time finding anything in it that makes it easy to dislike. I agree. It's a likable game. But I also don't find anything in it that makes it
Top 10.
quirky enough to be someone's favorite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Most people's favorite games have a quirk to them that speak to that person.
Burst. I love Burst. That's
The
my thing.
exploding dice.
Yes, I love exploding dice.
I'm gonna get you a gift for your next birthday. Don't put your ear up to it though; it might be ticking.
It ain't gonna be ticking.
All right. Number 6 has been on my list for 3 years. This is the first time it is in the top 10, and that is before the expansion comes out. And I'm sure when the expansion comes out, it will solidify it in my top 10, and that's Kemet. Yeah!
Wow.
Top 10. I really love Kemet. It's one of those games I played, I was like, wow, this is really good. It never occurred to me I would just every time play it and like it more. And again, adding in the C3K, the monsters from Cyclades helped a lot. But I just love it. I love the technologies. I love the fast combat. I love the speed of the game. I love the board. It's so unique in how it's all like touching each other in different... That sounds odd. All the spaces are touching them in different places.
I really dislike that, actually. I hate that no matter where you are on the board, you are 2 spaces away from everything else.
Why
give me a board? Why don't we just say, hey, it takes 2 steps to get everywhere, and I just put a pile of plastic miniatures in front of me and chuck dice. Actually, you don't roll dice in this game, you flip the card, but...
And I like the card combat. I like the fact that when you get a monster, it feels like you have a monster on your team. It's not just
that's
some
good.
bonus. It's just like, here comes
I
a
like the
big guy.
technology, I do like the pyramids and all that, it's just...
You like this just not as much as we do, right?
I like it all right, but I could see it on the table right now and be like, I'm good, I'm going to go do something else. Because it's just, there's few things that I really dislike.
I probably like Cyclades better than Kemet.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
With the
but-
expansion.
Yes.
Okay.
But still, I like them both equally. I think this is probably, for me, kind of like Twilight Struggle in 1989 was almost a tie.
All right.
I'm glad it's not.
Well, I'll tell you, when that expansion comes out, We're gonna like it even
We'll have to
more.
Knock on the door, and he'll be like, "I don't. No one's in here." Oh,
Moving on.
CD.
All right, the next one, number 5, was number 5 last year. And this is a game I know Sam likes also, and that is Summoner Wars.
Very good.
Summoner Wars is just a straight up great tactical card game. I love playing it. I love the, since I did the top 100 last year, yeah, they introduced the double factions, and I really like those. Now that's a step up a little bit in complexity, not too much, but I like the fact that these dual faction summoners could take people from either faction, or their units could be used in a faction of a summoner of either of those types. Right. Just added some more deck building to the game, but deck building in this game is still really quick, still really fast and fun. It all fits in one big box, and I love it.
That's a good one.
It's a very good choice.
No garbage.
I'm so glad you guys like
You
it.
picked one good one.
Oh, thanks. So you mentioned quirky games being in someone's top 10, and this is my quirky game, I suppose, and that is Duel of Ages 2.
Right.
Definitely quirky.
This one has...
Again, I think there's something, most people have favorites that really are specific to them. There's something in there that most people, the majority of people, would say no, and you say yes. And games that everybody likes are typically no one's favorite.
Right.
Yeah, maybe, but I love the theme. Robots fighting people, knights fighting Robin
Right,
Hood
you
fighting.
like that weird-
I love that with all different weird weapons. I love the stories that it invokes. They cleaned the
You have
system
no
up a
respect
bit.
for your time.
Yeah, I don't if the game is meant to be that way, which this one is. An anachronistic time
No, I
thing.
meant your time here on Earth, because that game takes forever to play.
Actually, and that's another thing I like about the
Set
game,
the time.
is that you can say, we're going to play a 2-hour game, and whoever's winning after 2 hours wins the game.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Why?
Because that's like,
It's not a waste of time, though.
it's true, but it also does not have an arc. It's like, oh guys, we have to stop. Who's winning right now? Okay, you win. That's the worst. Like that whole let's just call it, has to be my most hated way to end a game.
Okay, well, it works in this one because if you give yourself 2 hours with a good number, or 2.5 hours,
Right.
the game has a really good arc. It's usually winding down at that point.
Okay.
And when you know that time limit's coming, there's the arc. It's like, gotta do this last minute thing. I like it.
And then it becomes escape at the end.
No, it doesn't become escape. What we normally do is we pick a time limit, but everyone has equal number of turns so that no one can be like, oh, hang on.
Allow me to think for several minutes.
My number 3 hit my top 10 last year for the first time, and it's all the way up to number 3, and I love it! Collectible game, but it's still fun, and that's Marvel Dice Masters. DC Dice Masters.
Oh, wow. Number 3.
Yeah, I really like Dice Masters. This is my Magic the Gathering, although I get one of those boxes of it, and I don't feel like I need to get
Just
more.
imagine Eric Lang somewhere right now in a darkened room watching this going, I've got you, Vassal, I've got you, petting a cat, an evil cat.
I have 2 of his games in my top 10. That's pretty good percentage, though.
Yeah, and
there's
several
a-
others in the top
The
100.
third in the top 20 wasn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
But
he's
I mean,
got you.
Yeah.
but there's okay. Anyhow, Dice Masters. The rolling of I liked Quarriors, although this completely knocked Quarriors out of my top 100 because, in fact, Quarriors was waffling about even staying in my collection because every time I think about Quarriors, I'm like, nah, I'll just play Dice Masters. I can build a deck really quick or a group of dice. I played this game a lot.
Right.
We had a really fun game at the Dice Tower Con where we played against the designers and just getting into that theme. I like the D&D game part of it. I look forward to each expansion. They could stop making it now and I would still love it.
It's funny how you compare it to Quarriors, though.
Well, because it's the same system that came from Quarriors, but it feels nothing like Quarriors. There's that whole attacking each other, which cribs from Magic the Gathering. So it's like they mixed Quarriors and Magic the Gathering, and I love that. So that's my number 3. And now we enter the era of no surprises. This was my number 2 last year, and has been my number 2 many years, actually, and that is HeroScape. The game that takes up more room in my collection than the rest of the collection, probably.
Oh no, come on.
Come on, I was just sitting on top of the shelves over there.
No, there's all those, but that has a bins in the
I
thing.
know,
there.
the rest of
Okay,
the
that's true.
collection.
That's not true. But it takes up the room of at least 10 games. At least.
Yes.
And-
And it's as good as 10 games.
I love HeroScape, and this is a tough one for me to talk about because it's hard for people to find, right? You know, it's like, hey, HeroScape. Oh, where's it on eBay? Then they have a heart attack when they see how expensive it is. But it's cool, 3D terrain, fighting. Now, there's been a slight resurgence, hopefully, this year with Magic the Gathering, the board game, which is essentially HeroScape 2.0.
Right.
So if you want to know what HeroScape feels like for the most part, you can buy that, and now that's cheap. And see, now that one's going to have expansions coming out. We'll see. Hopefully that one will get to where HeroScape is at this point. I hope so. For all I know,
But
think
again,
it will.
if people do want to try the game,
Yeah,
and
no,
like,
yeah.
I mean, you can
that's
get that
absolutely
game,
good
and
advice,
it's based on HeroScape, but they're almost the same game.
I like miniature games, the idea of them a lot. But I hate measuring line of sight. I hate, counting, measuring how far someone can move and keeping track. HeroScape, it's all right there in the cards. This guy can move 6 spaces, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
I like that. Not to mention the visual effect, which you will not get in Magic the Gathering, the board game. The visual effect of the
No,
3D
right,
boards
right.
and stuff.
So I agree with you with when it comes to miniatures games, a grid overlay, a hex overlay, any kind of squares, I don't care where it is, I'll take that every day over. Oh wait, no, there we go. No, please, shoot me.
My number 2, HeroScape. And to the shock of no one, for the 6th or 7th year in a row, my number 1, Cosmic Encounter.
Oh snap! Well, you like that game too?
I thought this wasn't going to be on the list again this year.
Yeah, that would be really weird if it went
year.
from 1
Cosmic
To-
Encounter.
to off the list.
Yeah, wow. Cosmic Encounter 2.0.
Well, they actually
Coming
just did
out.
announce some new way to play Cosmic Encounter online. I haven't looked at it that much. People are like, all the time you're going to play online? I'm like, well, I actually still like playing in person better. Cosmic, I'll never crack all the different combinations of Cosmic. It's impossible. I played many different games of it. Just played a game of it a few months ago and just was like, wow, that's right. That's a cool combination of characters we have.
Right.
A lot of fun. There's not much I can say about it. Go watch my reviews of it. It offers everything I want in a game. Diplomacy with other players, cool, weird special powers, a good time length. You're never bored. There's always something to do on your turn.
Right.
There's always something interesting going on. I like it. So there you go. My top 100 of all time, according to Tom, in 2015. And I'll change it next year. Will Cosmic still be number 1 next year?
Oh, wow. I hope so. Could you imagine?
Off the list.
That'd be crazy.
It would be crazy.
There would be riots.
Yeah.
Maybe not riots. Some angry gamer would get online and then blog about it.
Well, I'll be curious, like, is there any game that I've played since I've started doing this top 100 that might make the list next year? What games were we... There's a game we played since I've made this. There's 2 games since we started doing this that I feel pretty confident will make the top 100.
I think they'll make my top 100 too.
Ships.
Well, no, one. I don't know about the one. Oh, that's right. 3 games, maybe. Yeah, that's true. Either way, a lot of cool stuff. Guys, thanks for suffering through this. But if it's fair enough, I've suffered as much as you have. So,
Happy to provide some suffering, folks.
until next year, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Thank you.
And I'm Sam Healy. See you on the flip side.
Tom Vassel's top 100 games of all time. Some say that Tom is like a giant among men. Others say he's a little obsessed.
I don't even have a top 10.
Tom Vassel's top 100 games of all time.